But so you're just starting out to journal your travel adventures then?
Right now, we're in the process of renovating the RV that we live in. So we're living in it full time. I've been working on different projects and taking people along for the journey with what we've been doing. And then within the next year, we plan on getting on the road and taking it to the next level.
So are you having broadcasting problems at your end from where are you at an RV park?
No, I'm actually currently we're renting the driveway of a good friend of mine, and that's where we're staying at, is in his driveway, so that we can get the renovations started. I've got a building that I can store some of my stuff in, and that's what we've been doing for the last like 8-9 months. I'm just trying to get information out there to other RVers and learn from them. They can learn from me. If I can learn from them, then it helps each other out. It helps to build the community.
We had a very large group of RVers in here last Saturday. They I can't think of the name. Maybe I could find it for you, but I mean, it was very large. I think there was as many as 400 in here. I think.
Wow.
Let me check while you're there. I'll see if I can just put RV in there and see what happens. See if anything comes up. I think it was a digital nomad, or the search field is.
That's Nomadic Fanatics.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, he does a podcast on Friday nights.
Huh.
And that gives him a chance to connect with some of his users. He's in Arizona, I think, now.
Uh-huh.
There is a big convention. They have a drive-in that they're doing at one of the beaches. It's in San Antonio, Texas. At one of the beaches down there, they're having a drive-in where all these RVers are meeting down there. And that's probably why he had there was a lot of people on there last night.
Yeah. Well, I wish you luck in building your audience. You pretty much have to bring them with you.
Well, that's what I started doing. This is actually the Passionate for RV Living is one of the Facebook groups that I have. And that's what I'm trying to pull some of the users in from there, because there's a lot of questions and the comments and things that go on with that. And if I can get people to come in live and talk about the different issues they're having, or questions that they may have, then it helps them. It helps me. It helps the community. So
did you post your event in your Facebook group?
Facebook group. I did it with my Google Plus accounts. I've got a lot of followers because I've got several different post places. I've got another Passionate for RV Living on Google Plus too. So just trying to get information out there to the different folks.
Okay. Well, I'm going to have to take off, but I wish you success with your lab show. And if there's any way I can help, just, feel free to follow and direct message me on Twitter. So I'd be happy to help you out.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
All right. Thank you, Barb. Bye-bye. Well, hi, everybody. This is Aron with Passionate for RV Living. I am the host of Three Tails RV. And right now we're doing a live broadcast for questions and answers. If you're interested in joining us, go ahead and go to blab.im, sign in, and we can also answer any questions you have. I'm going to go over a few things that we've been doing this week. And also the topic of the week is, so you want to become an RV person that lives on RVs and travel around the country. So some of the things that you might want to give you some ideas of what the challenges you're going to be facing, and some of the things that you might come across as things go on. So stay tuned for that. Again, this is the first time I have used Blam for a live event. So if you're interested in that, I see I have a few people. I have a total of 16 people viewing. And if you want to go ahead and come in, you're more than welcome to. That way you can get questions going. Or I can set this up so that you can ask me questions via Twitter if you feel that is something you'd like to do instead of coming on live. I just had Barb on here. She is another Blab user that was interested in asking me some questions about the RV lifestyle. So I went ahead and answered those. If you have any other questions, you can now send them via Twitter, and I will answer them as best as I can. So right now we have 16 viewers. All right, so let's give you a little update on the things that I've been working on. I have completed in our RV, the kitchen counters have been completed. Last week I showed you what we're going to use for the rails on them. It's you'll have to look it up on my blogger page. I'll have that up sometime this week. The countertops are done. I've got a brand new stovetop that we just got in yesterday. I've already went in and installed that one. Should have a video on all that information coming up soon, along with the blog page. If you want to follow us on Blogger, it is, let's get that up here real quick. We'll put it in the background behind it. It is Blogger. Wow. threetailsrv.blogspot.com, and that has all of the projects with a lot more information that is provided for you that is not in the regular videos. So if you want to go ahead and check that out, that'd be great. Anybody interested in coming in and having a chat would be awesome. I have a couple open seats. We can have up to 4 people that are talking in the community that can answer questions. Again, all you have to do is go over to blab.im, blab.im, hit enter, and that'll bring you up to the page. If you already have a Twitter account, then you just log in with your Twitter account. Look for us. Look for us in the chat area and come on in. Oh, here we go, Bill. Okay, we got Bill Rowe that is logging in right now. Anybody else interested in joining, just let us know, and we can get
Aaron,
you
just
up
taking
here.
a break. It was
Hi, Bill.
halftime
How are
of a
you
football
tonight?
game, so I thought I'd come down and pay a couple bills and whatnot. But I got a quick question for you, buddy. So I've got a travel trailer that I keep up at the lake most of the time, but I am planning on going on the road this spring in April. But my question is, how do you handle your internet when you're out and about?
Well, what I have on mine, I use a regular PC, and I have it wired up, and I have an antenna that goes out on top of it, is on the mast where the TV goes. And that gets me signal for up to, they say it's up to 3 miles, but I think the furthest away I've got is like 1.5 miles. So that's what I use. It's just a simple, I can look it up for you and get the exact name for it while we're doing that. But it's a pretty easy way for me to get internet. There's other ones that are out there that are a lot more expensive. The other option is to tether with your phone.
Where I'm at,
and you can,
especially with things like Blab and some of the other live streaming type things. I mean, boy, talk about data suckers. number one and number two,
It'll suck up your money real fast.
I don't get a strong enough 4G all the time, so it can be jittery.
Well, you can get Wi-Fi boosters that'll go along with that you can mount in your RV. That'll help with the getting the signal to and from to your phone. They can be a little pricey. I can do a quick search for you on Amazon for. And they're going to have a myriad of different things. You have to read a lot of the different reviews on them. The other thing you might want to consider for your internet is a range extender. If you're inside of an RV park, you can pick it up that way too. You can connect it to that, connect it with a password.
Yeah, so, where I'm at, I'm up on the south end of a lake on a peninsula. Okay, I mean, we've got 100 acres there, but it's kind of the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, what's the nearest connection, or is there one up on the lake?
I haven't researched where their tower is. Up there, it's Verizon, and that's what I use. And I am tethering it through the phone, but I'm not sure where their tower is. It's got to be at least 3 miles.
Yeah, so that's going to be the biggest problem.
I mean, we get a 3G most of the time, and even sometime that even drops down to 1. But you got a big pole barn up there. You go in the pole barn and you might as well just hang it up. It ain't going to work.
Yeah. No. Could you get the Wi-Fi booster? They also have the one for the 3G signal boosters that you can get through AT&T, Verizon. All the big networks have them. It'll help with that, so it'll help boost the signal to the tower that you're trying to get to.
Because it's not bad except for the data usage. So this antenna that you have, what is it based off of? What do you?
It's an antenna that I mounted up there. It pushes the signal through Cat5 that comes into the back of my computer, and it uses to boost off the signals that are already here. I've got an internet cafe.
So you're
2
just
blocks away, and
peeling it off of Wi-Fi then. Okay.
Yeah, I'm just if it's open, I can get into it. If it's closed, I got a password. I can get into it that way too. But only if I get the permission from the user or from the owner of it. But in an RV park, that would be the best way to do it. That way, you can just connect into their setup, and away you go.
Yeah, it's a little further out.
Is a little further out.
I'm not sure. Haven't actually planned out, other than I know I'm going south, because in April I'm not going to try crossing by Denver or anything like that. 33-foot trailer ain't a good idea to be pulling in snow, really. But
well, they do it all the time. But I'm not one to do it either.
Well, I mean,
that's why I'm out in Washington State.
Yeah, the first time I pulled that trailer, and I've got a 3/4 ton, 6-liter Chevy, and it'll pull it just fine. But we took it up to Duluth. But the first time I pulled it up to the lake, it was snowing, and I had a crosswind all the way up too. So it was.
But it's still fun. I describe it as trying to drive with a parachute deployed.
It actually didn't do too bad. I mean, because it was a fairly stiff wind, and I thought, sure, I'd get a lot more, side drift going on. But it wasn't that bad.
Side whip. And
even going directly into the wind, once I headed west, I mean, I thought I'd get the buckling, like the push-pull type stuff. Yeah, I didn't really notice much of anything, so. The only thing I noticed is when I did take it up to Duluth, Minnesota, the hills up there, boy, that made the engine RPMs scream a little bit. Yeah.
Well, that's to be expected. You probably had it pretty weighted down too.
We had all the stuff in there. I mean, we don't keep a whole lot in there, but I mean, I didn't have water hooked up or anything like that because I knew the place had hookups and all that. So the only thing I had was um, I had just a little bit in the black water because I knew I was going to be able to drain it up there. So that was it. So not much.
Well, yeah. Well, yeah, water takes up a lot of it. So those black tanks. What we do is we've got one of those blue caddies that we tow around with us. I can take it up to one of the rest areas where it doesn't charge me for
and
it. And
I've got one of those
free,
too,
so.
but that stays up at the lake for the most part. But
Think of it.
what we got up there is because there's no plumbing there either. But we've got we bought these things from Polly John. They're like I don't know, 300 gallon.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty good size, and we just dump in there and then have them emptied once a year. No.
Oh, that
works out good. So yeah, but the biggest thing I was looking at was trying to improve my internet connection because when I'm up there on the weekend, I like to get on it at night and work online, but sometimes it's a bit of a challenge.
Well, that's pretty much a challenge for all RVers. That's one of the biggest questions is how do I get internet while I'm on the road? There is I can't even remember the name of it. There's a product that they have out there that you pay $50 a month for, and they guarantee that it'll get you 4 gigabytes of transmission for internet. And I looked at it real brief and talked to the wife about it, and then we went and haven't really looked at it.
Lost Aaron here for a second. Is he coming back? Here he comes back.
Whoops, I hit the wrong button on you, Bill.
That happens, Stay away from that darn X thing. It kicks you right out.
Well, I was trying to get the information for you. Is what I was trying to do. And I'm like, well, let me hit boom, gone. Oh, that's just all a part of the fun. It's the first time I've used this. The first time I've actually hosted on here.
Okay. Are you on your PC now or are you on a...
Yeah, I'm on a PC through... Okay. I got it connected to my TV that's in in the living room.
Uh-huh.
And we can watch TV on it. I can use it for the internet. So it's serving several different purposes than just the boob tube.
Yeah, I've never really done that. Of course, usually when I come in at night up at the lake, she's sitting on the couch watching a movie, so I'll just take my laptop with me and do my work on it.
Well, we have a couple of those too. Everybody's got all the electronics now. I cannot find what it was. I'm still trying to look that up for you, though.
Yeah, I'm in no big rush. This game was at least close. It was 6-0 Pittsburgh at the half. First game was like a complete blowout. Kansas City just blew them away.
Well, I'm waiting for the one tomorrow. Like I said, I'm out in Washington State, so you can imagine who I'm rooting for.
Well, I am a Minnesota boy, so you want to duke it out now just to see how it's going to end?
No, not really. I'm originally from Iowa, so how's that? We'll just
so you kind of got mixed feelings. Okay, I'm with you. It's gonna be dang cold out there. My son's going to the game, so it's gonna be like, have fun. Stay warm.
I'll watch that from home. I can turn the heater up and not feel bad. Oh, I can't find it. Well, I can't find that. What I'll do is I'll put it up on our Facebook group the Passionate for RV Living. If you want to check it out, I can put a link to it up there for you.
Now, what was the name of the?
Passionate for RV Living.
No,
Just like it is for the chat.
No,
I can't remember the name of it. I'm that's what I'm looking for, and I can't find.
So it was just
'cause
like
I've got
a like a Wi-Fi booster.
No, it's an actual device that you can set up, and you can tether up to 10 different devices to it, and it's like using your phone, but you pay $50 a month for it, and it's unlimited access to the internet. And you can, like I said, you can connect TV, your phones to it. You can connect laptops, all that fun stuff to it, and it's $52 a month. And when you use it, you can pay for it. When you don't want to use it anymore, you just don't pay, and you want to start back up again, you start over with paying them for the service. And then when it's out, or they can have it automatically withdraw from your account, however you want to do it. It's like $120 to start with, and then you pay $50 for your usage, and it's unlimited for that month. It's something we were looking into when we get on the road.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd want to go that route or not. I mean, up there we've got like 3-4 campers that we keep up there, and my son's got his up there, my sister's got hers, so and usually everybody's up there, but even TV reception is iffy at times.
Yeah, I know what that's like. We used to go up to the Chain Lakes when I was a kid, and go canoeing with the family. That was always a highlight. Oh, hi.
I got your roommate there with you.
Oh, that's my youngest daughter. That's Snickers.
We used to have a cat with that name.
So you're on TV. Oh, you're going to clean my ear? Not now.
Yeah, I also had a cat that they named Lucky. And that cat had that name, at least for me anyway. Lucky it wasn't dead yet.
Well,
the thing was always getting in trouble. Those Wi-Fi boosters might be something to look into. Because a lot of times I can get a good strong 3G, but I'd like to have 4G. And that kind of
that's
wanes in and out.
Yeah, that'll definitely help you to get your signal out there a little bit better, incoming and outgoing. So if somebody needs to get a hold of you.
Yeah, usually that's not a problem unless I'm on the tractor, and then I'm not going to hear the darn phone anyway.
Yeah.
So, well, anyway, that's all I want to know. I'm going to go back up and watch the second half of this here. And then,
well, great. Hopefully it'll come out the way you want to.
And well, I'm just interested just to see who's going to be playing in the next games and through the playoffs. So. But wait for tomorrow's game and see who's brave enough to go out there without sleeves on, because it's going to be downright cold.
Well, what they had on the newspaper here was that they were putting special equipment on the players from Seattle because they're not used to the cold weather. So if that gives you any indication.
Yeah, well, you never know how it's all going to work. And the thing I'm kind of wondering about is how Russell's going to handle it, simply because he doesn't wear gloves. Teddy wears gloves, so I don't think it's going to be as big an issue for him. But if
I guess we'll find out.
If Russell goes out there without gloves, is he going to be able to play? Is he going to be able to play the same way?
I don't think he'll be able to do it. That's too cold for anybody.
Yeah, once it gets below 0, it's like, who the heck cares? It's just cold.
Yeah. Well, all right. We'll talk to you again later, Bill.
All right. Take care. Nice to meet you, bud.
You too.
Right,
Bye-bye.
bye.
Well, I got an open seat. Why don't you hop in there, RV, with me? All you got to do is hit the open seat button and it'll bring you on. We were talking, was going to talk about some of the, what? Okay. All right. So we have a total of, right now, we have 3 viewers. 20 total viewers and 3 people watching it live. So, well, anyway, back to what I was talking about with our projects. I have completed the kitchen renovation is almost complete. Still got a little bit of things to do. To recap, I started working on the kitchen cabinets, or the countertops in the kitchen. Got those taken care of. Then we went down, and the reason why we redid the countertops is because we went and got a new sink, which didn't fit the same space as the old sink, and I didn't like the old tile that was on the cabinets before. So I took that out. We updated the tops on it, and then I ended up getting the new sink and doing the plumbing on it. And at the same time, we installed a dishwasher in the RV. So along with the plumbing for the sink, we had to incorporate the dishwasher drain and the water that feeds it, hot water that feeds it. So from there, once we got that installed, I got all the pieces and parts put together. Again, that'll be on my blog spot, so you can look for that at threetailsrv@blogspot.com, and that'll give you all the different items that I used to get that accomplished. And from there, we installed a refrigerator, and not another RV related refrigerator, because we were having issues with ours where it wasn't keeping temperature. It was giving off orders. So we switched over to a domestic refrigerator, and you can find more links and information about that on the blog spot. Should be up here in the next week or so. Also, hopefully I'll be doing some YouTube videos to showcase some of the different items that we used and the installation of those. A lot more detail on blogs than it will be on the video. Recently, we added I repainted and revamped the over-the-counter, or the exhaust fan. What I did is I got different internal workings for ours, switched it over, and painted the case for it, and reinstalled it back above the stove. Hi, babe. The little one? She's right here. From there, oh yeah, we can do that. You can do it if you want. From there, it's puppy treat times, so it's probably gonna get a little loud, and I apologize for that. But at 7 o'clock, which we're 25 minutes late, they will be getting their treats. So we got the domestic refrigerator put in. I did the only thing I got left to do is we went and bought a different microwave for the RV, and I am currently in the works of installing that with the wiring system, with getting it wired in, and getting the space was too big for it, so I have to adapt it, and I'm going to put a shelf at the top of it and a vent area on one of the sides for it. So that brings you up to my different projects on my RV. Let's see. Now I'd like to move into a different topic. We're going to switch topics, and we're going to move on, get it out of what I'm doing. What I'd like to talk about now is, so you want to live in an RV, and what are some of the challenges that go along with that? If you have any questions or any comments to that, go ahead, and I can get you in an open seat here, and we can talk about that. Some of the different things that we went through, you can also look on our blog page about us, and it gives you the initial story of why we got into the RV and a little bit of background behind that. If you're interested in joining us tonight, all you have to do is hop on to blab.im.com or blab.im and fill out the registration form. If you already have a Twitter account, it will go ahead and log you in, and then you can join in for tonight's live chat. I've already had a couple people in here talking about various questions that they have with RVs, and you can go ahead and do the same thing tonight. I guess from then, we will go ahead and talk about some of the things that we discovered while we were looking into an RV and the RV living. So we'll move on to that. It all started for us back in this one Saturday afternoon in 2014. We had been watching a lot of videos in the tiny house movement in Oregon, and later that day, I showed Lori some of that information to her. We thought that it would be a great way to simplify life. And what that did is got us motivated to think about some of our wants and needs that we wanted to pursue in our own financial and different desires to do different things throughout our lives. And right now we have grandchildren in 4 different states. Is that right, Lori? 3 different states. So what's the easiest way to go and visit them and to go visit some of the other relatives that we have in many different states was to for us, it was just to sit down and what we came up for a plan was to move into an RV to save ourselves some money, stop paying for somebody else's mortgage on a house, a secondary home, and a secondary income for them. We were living in a ranch style 3-bedroom house, and we occupied 2 rooms of it. We were either in sleeping or we were in doing our own thing, or in the living room, or we were at work, or we were doing other things. So that really wasn't something that we wanted to do, was to have 3 rooms full of junk that we weren't using. And we were tired of paying somebody else's rent and tired of dealing with other people's issues. You can call the landlord and tell them that you have issues with your RV, and sometimes they are quick to respond, and other times they get to it when they can or whenever they want to. So that's a couple of the reasons why we wanted to, and I'd love to hear what other users that have gotten into full-time RV, what are your thoughts and ideas behind it? If you'd like to get in here and do some talking tonight, I would appreciate it. We are currently running at about 31 minutes for this live event. I really don't have anybody on here. It's kind of sad. Why don't you get on your phone and log in, babe? Give me somebody to talk to. So again, is there any questions from anybody? We've got nothing there. Let's go back over to questions. So I guess we'll move on with what I was talking about. In November 8th of 2014, we started looking at different RVs throughout the Washington area, Seattle area. And we looked at probably, I would say, 50, 60 different RVs before we came to a conclusion that we wanted something a little bit larger than some of the ones that we were looking at. We didn't know the difference between a Class C, a Class A, a Class B, a Class D, a Class C. We had no idea what we were getting into. We didn't understand what LP was. We didn't understand what the black tanks were. We had no idea what we were getting into, but we knew that this is something that we wanted to do. And there's a lot of people that get trapped up into that same kind of concept, and that's why it's something that I'm really passionate about, trying to get information out to other people as to why they need to do a lot more research when they get into RVs, because Lori and I really didn't do the research that we needed to do. We thought we did the right research and thought we had a really good plan, but when it all came down to it, I think we could have done a whole lot better knowing what we know now versus what we did then. And I think that's the case with a lot of people when they jump into a different lifestyle, is that they really don't do a lot more research and do a lot more fact finding and digging into what's going on. Between the two of us, so we did the plunge. We went and bought a Class A 35-foot Fleetwood Limited. It had low mileage, and the interior was what we thought was great shape. And after doing a lot more digging and a lot more looking into the different issues that it had, was not quite as good as what we had thought it was. The owners that we bought the RV from said that they had fixed all the leaks inside the RV and it wasn't going to be an issue anymore. And they put this great product that was cheaper and easier to use, and they could just throw it up there once a year and it would take care of all the problems. Well, come to find out that the paint that they were using, because I call it paint because it is a heat reducer that goes up on the roof. It doesn't seal any cracks. It doesn't do anything great for the RV. It's just the plain simple fact that it helped to reduce the heat inside of the RV. It had nothing to do with anything else. So what I ended up doing was I ended up pulling all of the original grout system that runs along the RV, pulling all of that out. Not grout, the sealant that they had up there, and it was all water soaked. And being in Washington State where it rains a lot, that's not a good thing to have. So I started out with the right side from the driver's seat. It's the right side of the RV, and I ended up taking and scraping off all of that stuff from the front all the way to the back. And then when I got going with that and peeling stuff back and doing a little bit of doing some touch-ups on it, then I had to go back and fill it. And then what I ended up doing was not using the caulking that goes along with it. I ended up using the Eternabond tape, and we're talking the wider 8-inch stuff. And I ended up going over the top of that whole seam from the front all the way to the back. It was ruined. You could see where it had water and condensation built up into it. We let it all air dry. I cleaned it all up. We took all this stuff out of there. We cleaned it all up. We took mineral spirits to it. Just to wipe it off and to get the edges taken care of. And then letting it dry for a couple of days. Then I went back with a Eternabond and put that across the gap between the two layers, and then filled the seam with the self-leveling Dicor on the sides. So when there's no chance of the Dicor coming up, because you got a seam that goes across, as you can imagine, the seam is about 6 inches wide, so it goes all the way across like this. And then on the top end, a leading edge, I went and used the self-leveling Dicor on both the leading and the trailing edge on it. So there's no way for that to be lifted up in any way, shape. Not that it's going to do that after doing a lot more research on that. You don't have to do all that, but I did it anyway, so it seals it up. So I ended up having to replace the outer edge all the way around with the trailer just to get it to seal up so that there wouldn't be any more condensation getting into the RV. And that's not something I did in one day process. It took us almost a year to do that. A Turnabon is not cheap. Dicor self-leveling is not cheap. During the summer months, you can try and get that at Camp World. I said try, because that's when everybody wants to get it. Everybody wants to go down to Camp World and get 4 or 5 tubes of that because they're having issues with their RV leaking over the wintertime. So try. You can also order it off on the Amazon. There's just about any camp related RV retailer will have that stuff. And they have that stuff for you and ready to use. Let's see. That was the story with the roof. Then they also told us when we bought the RV that there was a slight issue with the holding tanks, that it wouldn't hold water, and that the pump just needed to be replaced. Well, this last summer, we bought that in 2014, November, we bought the RV. This last summer, I went down there and looked to see what was going on with the pump. To this date, I haven't filled them. I haven't checked them to see if they'll actually hold water. All I know is that the pump might need to be replaced. And it's never worked. You hit the little buttons up here on the RV, try and get those to fill, and nothing. You don't hear a hum, you don't hear a bang, you don't hear a click or nothing. So this summer I went down there and I opened up the compartment, and I'm looking at it, and there's no plumbing to it. There's no plumbing out of it. There's no wire to the pump. There's no wire from the pump. There's nothing. So what it looks like to me is they started to do a refurbishing of the water system in the RV, but they never finished it. So being that they never finished it, I don't know where they started. I don't know where they ended. Now I've got a mess that I got to sit down and try and reroute and try and figure out how to get working. So that's just, for me, that was the 2 main things that we ran into. Oh, there's a third. When we got the RV, he told me that he had the brakes looked at, and I just needed to add more brake fluid to it because the brakes were a little mushy. So we went and we got some more brake fluid. We checked it, looked like it was a little low, so we added a little more to it. Well, come to find out that the hydraulic pressure sensor, that when you push the brakes in, it has a little bit of a malfunction. There's a little leak inside of there, and it's not working properly. So instead of me saying, hey, let's go get this checked before we buy it, now I've got what we got with a leaky roof that had no storage compartments and brakes that were mushy. Yeah. So those are the big 3 things that I've had to work on. The roof is solid now. I have gone over the last year and put in enough Dicor that I could almost own stock in the company. That's probably an over-exaggeration, but for me, it's a simple truth. It feels like the truth. I did reuse their cold-called sealing stuff the sealer that they gave us, which is a heat reducer, and I did put some of that back up there in the summertime, and it just makes it look nicer up there after doing that. So that's a couple of our nightmares. If you have any nightmare issues that you've had with your RVs that you'd like to share with other RVists so that maybe they could learn what not or what to look for when they're buying an RV so that they don't do the same thing that you've done, go ahead and leave that in the comment section. Or next Saturday, we'll try and have another live event. I got to talk to 2 people that I've never talked to before tonight, and hopefully we can do that again next Saturday. So you can bring those along with you then, or you can post them below. So hopefully we'll get you on here talking about the RV living lifestyle and the passionate for living as you'd like to. Now we're going to talk about the upcoming projects that I have that I'm going to be working on some of the things that we're going to be doing in 2016 and what we hope to be doing next fall with our RV adventure. So like I said, we've got a few things that we need to work on. I've got the pump system that needs to be worked on. I've got an ignition switch that needs to be replaced, because right now I can't turn on the RV because the switch is locked open to an open position. And I haven't really shared that with anybody before, but that's one of the things that we need to do. So that's just replacing the ignition switch in it and get it reconnected so I can start the RV. It's getting power. The batteries are fine. Everything's got a charge to it. It's just for some reason the ignition switch is put up locked into the open position, and we're not getting any juice. To me, that's a simple fix. The other thing is getting the water storage tanks fixed. And last fall, I picked up 2 seats for the driving compartment of the RV. They are leather, full-powered seats, and the current ones that are in there are both broke. The armrest is broke on the driver's side, and the other one, the power motor, is not working correctly on the passenger side. So that's 2 things that we're going to do. Also going to be looking at redoing the instrument instruction. Needs more Pepsi. Instrument panel on the front of my RV, because it's to get it to up to date and not look quite so ancient looking. Also installing a different radio system in there, and let's see what else. I got the 2 seats from off of Craigslist for, I think it was $50 for both of them. Normally those are like $1,500 seats. A guy was going to use them in a conversion van makeover that he was going to do. One of the conversion van bug out vehicle type thing, and he was going to put them in there, and then lost interest in the idea and the concept of doing it, and he just wanted them out of his garage. So he told me $50. Of course, I can't pass up 2 excellent condition RV seats for $50. And I'll post pictures of those on our Facebook page, Passionate for RV Living. So you can check out those pictures there. Some of the other things that we're going to be coming up with for this summer or in the process, the next major event in ours is going to be refurbishing the bathroom. Going to be redoing the another tile cabinet top, just like what they had in the kitchen or the galley area here. So I'm going to go ahead and pull that out. It's pretty much a very simple thing. You pull it out, you turn it upside, you take it out to the garage, you measure out, you trace out what's already there, and then you cut it out, and then you figure out what you're going to do for a laminate top on it. I'm going to do something a little different. I don't think I want to have the same thing that we have in the galley in the bathroom. We're going to try and keep things a little different and make it a little bit different space. I plan on redoing the tiling that I have for the backsplash in there. We already took out the metal shroud, plastic, gold looking, windowed in, felt like you were stuck in a box while you're trying to take a shower. You had no room. We took that out and added an extend shower curtain in there. Also added little louvers toward the bottom to keep the water in. But we're going to be redoing that. We're going to different lighting in there, different water fixture in there, and also adding a fantastic fan or one of the max fans in the galley area is probably going to be the last thing we do in here. And then finally we get all this other stuff done. The goal is hopefully I've got a wedding in Missouri that we need to be out there for in October of next year. So our goal is to be on the road and headed toward Missouri, going down the southern route and then coming back up from the south up north to Missouri, and being at my niece's My brother's daughter. Yeah. No. Uncle, cousin, whatever. Anyway, it's been one of those days. Been working a lot on different projects. Anyway, we're going to go there to see her and watch her get married. And that'll probably be the start of our RV adventure from there. We'll go down through California, cut across, see as many things as we can see on our way to see them in October. Leave here, hopefully get everything taken care of, and head that way. That would be a really nice little vacation for us. Test this out, see how things are going to go, and hopefully that will be the big start of our crossing the United States in a RV and living the dream, living the RV lifestyle, moving on to bigger and better things. So that's our plan. That's some of the projects that are going to be coming up that you will be seeing on Facebook and also on YouTube. I'll probably be doing some Instagrams and tweets and everything else just to keep everybody appraised of what's going on. So I'm going to open this up. If anyone would like to come in and ask questions, have any comments or concerns, or would just like to give me crap about being a Seahawks fan, that'd be awesome too. You're more than welcome to join us here at blam.im, and all you have to do is look for the Passionate for RV Living chat, and I'll be here for about another 10 minutes to chat with anybody who'd like to chat, share stories with a few other people, and maybe get other people involved into our community. If not, then I will probably close it off here in a few minutes because I'm running out of stuff to talk about and there's nobody here to converse with. But you can join in, or you can also go on to Twitter and you can go on to Twitter and go ahead and ask me questions that way if you'd like to via the page. Ugh. I don't want this. Let's go over here, switch to Twitter. Like I said, you can go into Twitter and ask me any questions. They'll pop up here and I can put them off to the side. Whoa. And we can do that. Hey, Douglas, would you like to come in and do some talking? Or Dave? Anybody? This isn't quite turning out like I wanted it to, but that's all right. It's all about getting information out to the community. If you have any questions that you'd like to answer, or you'd like to get on here and talk about some of the mishaps that you might have happened to you while you were first getting into RV living, and some of the things that you did to take care of those, some information that you'd like to pass on to people that are trying to get into the RV community and start living the RV lifestyle, then go ahead and pop in real quick and we can talk about some of those. Or if you have any other questions, you can send it to us via Twitter, or you can hop in here at blam.im and blam.im and look for a Passion of RV Living chat down in the list of open channels, and pop in, and I can have you live here and can ask questions or talk about any of the things that we've talked about before. If not, we'll be closing this off in about 3 minutes. So if you need to hurry and get in your questions to me, I will have this up for view on YouTube as soon as this is completed. It should be ready to view. You can watch this in its entirety, or you can stay tuned for next week as we do another. We'll do another one of these next week, Saturday at 7 o'clock. And hopefully we'll get some other people involved in answering questions about the different topics related to RV living. we can continue on with part 2 of my adventures in getting started with RV living. Some of the things that I've learned, some of the things I wish somebody would have told me, some stories that go along with it, information guides, so on and so forth. You can visit us at Passionate for RV Living on Facebook, or we also have a Facebook channel for Three Tails RV. You can look at that one. You can also follow along with my YouTube channel. It's also there under Three Tails RV. We're on Instagram. We're on Patreon. We're on Twitter, Pinterest. You can find us in all those different locations. Go ahead and subscribe to the YouTube channel if you'd like to. That way you can get most up-to-date information about the different RV topics that we're talking about and taking you along for the journey as we get ready to go full-timing on the road. So with that being said, I think this will be the time that I go ahead and close this off for tonight. As always, I would like to, I'd like to pass on to you, wherever the road takes you, live simple, live free, and enjoy the ride. Until next time, this is Aron signing off, and we hope to see you again soon. Whoops.